A new Silicon Valley is being built right now, not in California, but in the United Kingdom. Backed by nearly $1 billion in government funding, this project isn't just about startups or tech campuses. It's about something much bigger: control over the future of artificial intelligence. For decades, the United States has dominated global technology, but now other nations are moving fast to challenge that dominance. And this may be the clearest signal yet, because if this plan works, it could shift where the world's most important innovations are created. And who controls them? Stay with me, because what's happening here isn't just a regional development story. If you want serious, independent reporting on the global economic shifts that directly affect jobs, technology, and long-term growth, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Because what's happening right now in the United Kingdom is not just a regional development story. It's a strategic move that could reshape the balance of technological power. It's the start of a global technology power shift. The UK government is preparing to invest roughly £800 million into a bold ambition to build what it calls Europe's Silicon Valley. And that phrase is not accidental. It's a direct reference to the most powerful innovation ecosystem in the world, Silicon Valley in the United States. What the UK is attempting here is not just economic development, it's competition. A competition for global technological leadership in the age of artificial intelligence. At the center of this plan is a specific region: the Oxford-Cambridge corridor, a stretch of land between two of the most prestigious universities in the world. A region already known for scientific research, biotech innovation, and advanced engineering. Now, the government wants to transform it into a concentrated hub of startups, research labs, and high-growth technology companies, a European answer to Silicon Valley. According to official plans, the investment will fund infrastructure, land development, housing, and transport systems designed to connect key cities like Oxford, Cambridge, Milton Keynes, and Bedford. This is not just about building offices. It's about building an ecosystem, because ecosystems are what make places like Silicon Valley so powerful. Not just companies, but talent, capital, research, and culture, all concentrated in one place. And the UK believes it already has one key ingredient: world-class research institutions. The universities of Oxford and Cambridge consistently rank among the best in the world. They produce cutting-edge research in artificial intelligence, life sciences, quantum computing, and engineering. But historically, one problem has limited their impact: commercialization, turning research into globally dominant companies. That's where Silicon Valley has always had the advantage. The United States doesn't just invent technology, it scales it. It turns ideas into trillion-dollar companies. Now, the UK government is trying to close that gap by creating an environment where innovation can move faster, where startups can access funding, where infrastructure supports rapid growth, and where talent can stay instead of leaving for the United States. Because for decades, there has been a quiet talent pipeline from Europe to America. Top engineers, top researchers, top entrepreneurs, moving to Silicon Valley for better opportunities, bigger funding, and faster growth. This initiative is designed to reverse that flow, to keep talent in the UK, and attract more from around the world. But here's where the story becomes more complex, because building a Silicon Valley is not something governments have historically been good at. Silicon Valley itself was not created by a single government plan. It evolved over decades, driven by private capital, military research funding, university partnerships, and a culture that rewarded risk-taking and failure. That combination is extremely difficult to replicate, and many countries have tried. China has invested heavily in its own tech hubs. Europe has launched multiple innovation initiatives. Even regions within the United States have tried to recreate Silicon Valley's success. Few have matched its scale, so the question is not whether the UK can invest £800 million. It can. The question is whether that investment can create the same kind of organic innovation ecosystem. Because money alone does not build a tech hub. Timing matters, culture matters, risk tolerance matters, and perhaps most importantly, global competition matters. Right now, the world is entering a new technological race, artificial intelligence, and this race is different from previous ones. Because the winners will not just dominate one industry, they will influence every industry: healthcare, finance, defense, energy, manufacturing. AI is becoming foundational, and governments know it. That's why this UK investment is happening now, not 5 years ago, not 10 years ago, now. Because the window to establish leadership in AI is still open. But it may not stay open for long. The United States currently leads, with companies like OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, and Meta investing tens of billions into AI development. China is moving aggressively as well, building its own models, investing in infrastructure, controlling data at scale. Europe, historically, has been slower, strong in research, but weaker in commercialization. This initiative is an attempt to change that, to position the UK as a serious player in the AI economy. But there are challenges, significant challenges. Infrastructure is one. The plan includes building new housing and improving transport links across the corridor, because talent cannot concentrate in a region without affordable living and efficient mobility. That's a lesson Silicon Valley itself learned the hard way. Sky-high housing costs, congested infrastructure, barriers that now threaten its own growth. The UK is trying to address those issues up front. Another challenge is capital. Silicon Valley thrives on venture capital, massive funding networks willing to take risks on early-stage companies. The UK has venture capital, but not at the same scale as the United States. Closing that gap will be critical. Then there's regulation. Europe has traditionally taken a more cautious approach to technology. Stronger data protection laws, more regulatory oversight. Those policies protect consumers, but they can also slow innovation. Balancing innovation with regulation will be one of the defining challenges of this project. And then there's the workforce, because building a tech hub requires not just elite researchers, but a full spectrum of talent. Engineers, product managers, designers, technicians, support staff, a complete ecosystem of skills. And in an age of artificial intelligence, those skills are evolving rapidly. Companies are demanding workers who can adapt, who can work alongside AI systems, who can move between roles as technology changes. That shift is happening globally, and the UK's success will depend on whether it can build that kind of workforce. Now step back and look at the bigger picture. This is not just about the UK, this is about a global race for innovation, a race to define the next generation of economic power. Because in the 20th century, power was defined by industrial capacity, manufacturing, energy, natural resources. In the 21st century, power is increasingly defined by technology. And within technology, artificial intelligence is becoming the central battleground. Whoever leads in AI will have a significant advantage across multiple industries. Economic advantage, military advantage, strategic advantage. That's why governments are getting involved. That's why public money is being deployed. And that's why projects like this matter. If you're finding this kind of analysis valuable, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, because these are the stories that shape not just markets, but the future of entire economies. Now consider what success would look like. A thriving corridor of innovation, thousands of new companies, high-paying jobs, breakthrough technologies, global investment flowing into the region, a self-sustaining ecosystem. That's the vision. But failure is also possible. Underused infrastructure, slow growth, talent continuing to leave. Investment failing to scale. Because building innovation ecosystems is one of the most complex challenges in economic development, and history shows that success is far from guaranteed. Still, the fact that this investment is happening tells us something important. Governments are no longer passive observers in the technology race. They are active participants. They are investing, planning, competing, because they understand what's at stake. And what's at stake is not just economic growth, it's relevance. In a world increasingly shaped by artificial intelligence, countries that fail to build strong technology ecosystems risk falling behind. And once that gap opens, it becomes very difficult to close. The UK is trying to move early, to position itself as Europe's leading tech hub, to create an environment where innovation can thrive, and to compete with the United States and China in the defining technology race of our time. Whether it succeeds remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. The global competition for AI dominance is accelerating, and the decisions being made today will shape the economic landscape for decades. If you want to stay informed about these critical shifts, the ones that impact jobs, industries, and the balance of global power, make sure you subscribe to the channel before you go, because the future of technology is being built right now, and understanding it is no longer optional.